Imagine walking into a room full of your own peers, only to realize you are completely invisible to them. That is exactly how Arthur felt every single day. If you believe that true dignity cannot be bought with money, subscribe right now. Arthur was 72 years old, with silver hair that caught the morning light and hands that bore the deep, calloused lines of a lifetime of hard labor. For 44 years, he had worked as the head custodian at the prestigious Willow Creek Academy, a private elite school where the wealthiest families sent their children. Arthur knew every creak in the floorboards, every hidden smudge on the glass, and the names of every student who had passed through those halls. But to the parents and the faculty, Arthur was just a part of the architecture, a moving shadow in a blue uniform whose only job was to make their messes disappear. Every Sunday, the town's elite gathered at the grand ballroom of the Whispering Pines Country Club for a charity brunch. Arthur, who saved every spare penny he had, made it a point to attend once a year on the anniversary of his late wife's passing. It was his one day to feel connected to the world, to wear his one tailored suit, and to sit quietly in the back, sipping tea. But this past Sunday was different. As Arthur walked toward his usual table near the back, he accidentally brushed against Julian Vance, a high-powered real estate mogul whose son attended Willow Creek. Julian stopped, looked down at his pristine designer suit, and then looked at Arthur with utter disdain. "Watch where you're going," Julian sneered, loud enough for the entire room to fall silent. "This isn't the janitor's closet, Arthur. Some of us actually paid to be here. You're tracking the scent of bleach into a room full of millions." The room erupted into cruel, hushed laughter. Whispers swirled like a toxic fog. "Why is the school cleaner even here? He doesn't belong with us." Arthur felt his face burn with a deep, agonizing humiliation. He didn't say a word. He just lowered his head, turned around, and walked out into the rain, the sound of their mockery echoing in his ears. For the next week, the atmosphere at Willow Creek Academy was tense. Julian Vance had just launched a massive, multi-million-dollar campaign to build a new state-of-the-art sports complex for the school, aiming to get his name plastered on the front gates. He paraded around the campus with investors, completely ignoring Arthur, who was quietly scrubbing the mud off the lobby floors. Julian even openly joked to the headmaster that the school needed to upgrade its staff along with its buildings to keep the riffraff out. Arthur simply kept his head down, absorbing the emotional injustice with a quiet, unbreakable dignity. By the following Sunday, the country club was packed to maximum capacity. It was the annual Willow Creek Benefactors Gala, the biggest fundraising event of the year. Julian Vance stood at the center of the ballroom, holding a glass of champagne, soaking in the admiration of his peers. He was confident that tonight, his legacy would be cemented. Suddenly, the heavy oak doors of the ballroom swung open. A silence fell over the crowd as a man stepped inside, flanked by two attorneys in sharp, expensive suits. It was Arthur. But he wasn't wearing his blue janitor uniform, nor was he wearing his modest Sunday suit. He wore a flawlessly tailored, bespoke charcoal tuxedo. His posture was upright, his gaze piercing and filled with an undeniable authority. Julian Vance chuckled loudly, breaking the silence. "Well, look who decided to show up for round 2. Did you come to collect the trash early, Arthur? Or did you finally save up enough lunch money to buy a real suit?" The crowd chuckled nervously, expecting Arthur to shrink away. "If you are eager to see justice served, hit that like button right now." Arthur didn't flinch. Instead, he walked directly to the main stage, took the microphone from the stunned master of ceremonies, and looked Julian directly in the eyes. 45 years ago, Arthur's voice boomed through the speakers, steady and resonant. "The founder of this very town, Marcus Sterling, established a blind trust. He decreed that the true owner of the land Willow Creek Academy sits on, and the majority shareholder of the Whispering Pines Country Club, would remain anonymous, managing the estate through a legacy foundation until the day they chose to step forward. Julian laughed, waving his hand dismissively. What does a history lesson have to do with you, janitor? Arthur's senior attorney stepped forward, opening a leather briefcase and pulling out a set of certified, gold-sealed deeds. It has everything to do with him, Mr. Vance. Meet Arthur Sterling, the sole surviving heir to the Sterling estate, the legal owner of the ground you are standing on, and the man who has quietly subsidized the tuition of over 40% of the students in this room for the last 4 decades. The entire ballroom gasped. Julian Vance's face turned completely pale, his champagne glass slipping from his hand and shattering on the marble floor. Arthur looked out at the sea of stunned, guilty faces. I chose to work as a custodian because I wanted to watch over this community from the ground up. I wanted to see who these children were when they thought no one important was watching. I wanted to see how you, the leaders of this town, treated the people you deemed beneath you. Arthur turned his gaze back to Julian, whose knees were visibly shaking. Mr. Vance, your multi-million-dollar sports complex proposal has been officially rejected by the board. Furthermore, your lease on the commercial properties downtown, which my foundation owns, will not be renewed at the end of the month. I tolerated your disrespect toward me, but I will not allow a man with your lack of character to influence the standards of this institution. The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. The very people who had laughed at Arthur just 7 days prior were now staring at him with a mixture of awe, terror, and profound shame. Arthur placed the microphone down, adjusted his cuffs, and walked out of the ballroom with the effortless grace of a true king. He had spent decades cleaning up their physical messes, but tonight, he had thoroughly cleaned up their arrogance. This powerful story teaches us that you should never judge a person's worth by their current position or the clothes on their back. True wealth isn't found in a bank account, it is found in humility, integrity, and how you treat those who can do absolutely nothing for you. At the end of the day, your life reflects your standards. If this story touched your heart, leave a comment below with the word honor to show you stand for respect, and subscribe if you value true character over superficial wealth.